Press record.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that we've done the audio check, we know we're ready to go. Yeah, we're good. How's it going?
Not bad.
How's life?
Not bad.
Dude, it's been a crazy week for me, man. Ever since, I'm out in the open, I'm looking for everything. It's been a little bit relaxing, not gonna lie. I like the laid back options I have. And
What are you talking about?
I mean, I've lost my job, so I'm just trying to retire and enjoy what I can.
So you can retire?
Yeah, so I can retire. I want to retire. I want to retire when I'm early,
As we all do.
35s.
35s?
35s.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
When do you plan to retire?
70?
You think you're gonna make it to 70?
No.
Do I think I'm gonna make it to 70?
Yeah, you might.
I did one time read an article that said the way medicine's going, if we make it to supposedly some year, let's say 2035, that we would have enough technology to at least prolong our
That's true,
biological
right? Yeah.
age by X amount, and this is that form of singularity I'm coming back to. It's like, dude, I would love to prolong my life if I had the option.
Well, we must be almost there. We're not there yet because there are certain cancers that we have no control over still, but pretty much everything else. Actually, I saw the other day they have a experimental cancer vaccine for lymphoma.
An experimental cancer vaccine.
I think they've only used it on people who already have it.
Wait, so I'm not too educated on types of cancer. Which one's lymphoma?
I don't know either, but I think
we just know it's a cancer.
I think it affects the lymph nodes.
One thing I did, talking about cancer, that I used to find intriguing before we were good with Cuba like we are today.
Mm-hmm.
You remember how people would be like, oh man, Cubans smoke all the cigars in the world because they have a drug that can cure the lung cancer that they would get. Have you ever heard this?
No.
Oh my god, dude, I guarantee you look it up, it's gonna pop up. They were saying they have some form of drug that would cure or reduce the symptoms of lung cancer or something, and now that we're good with Cuba, we would get that drug and see.
Have we?
I have no idea. I don't even know if it was a real thing. I was like, oh dang, I can't believe Cuba has this type of stuff.
Was that something you saw on InfoWars?
You know what? To be honest, I've never watched InfoWars other than other people talking about InfoWars.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so.
Do you watch InfoWars?
No.
You know what's hilarious? While in this weekend I went to New York City and I saw a Jeep with Infowars.com on it going on a moving truck.
Oh yeah.
It was like, what the heck?
People are super fans. I used to work with somebody who literally they bought the supplements. They listened to
Cuba lung cancer vaccine,
Alex Jones
Simovax.
every day.
Cuba lung. It's a thing, man. It's crazy. They have a vaccine.
Well, that was
what is Simovax? Simovax is a lung cancer treatment that was developed in Cuba and a type of immunotherapy that harnesses the body's immune system to fight lung cancer.
Well, in theory, that's what they're trying to do. I doubt it exists yet. But in theory, the next level of cancer research is having it just your body fight it. But I doubt it exists yet.
I doubt it exists too.
Because in a perfect world, we could help the body fight it as if it was an infection.
Yeah.
Instead of chemo.
Here it is.
So what's that? Oh,
this
wow.
is the Jeep with Infowars.com.
You know what that is? I think that's either Toyota.
I know. I was like, why the heck does this Jeep? Why is this on the freaking highway? It made no sense.
Hey, they have a lot of followers.
They do have a lot of
Skepticism
followers.
is huge.
I'm
fine with skepticism, but I don't know about all the things they preach. But anywho.
Yo, how was the news last week? I was not really following the news. Did anything crazy happen?
I don't follow it either.
You don't follow it either?
Whenever I talk to my mom about current events.
Would you actually talk to your parents about the news?
Preferably no, but sometimes it just comes up.
Oh, okay.
And it's like she's bringing up all these like minute things that have happened. And, like, I'm not saying I'm better off for not knowing these things, but like, you just seem mad, and I'm just like sort of living. Like,
really?
You know, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't watch the news, but.
All right, so I didn't watch the news. So get this, right? I didn't watch the news. I'm ready to leave New York City. And when I'm ready to leave New York City, I read an article that, like, while I'm at New York City, ready to go back to wherever I live, and it says, new superbug found in New York City hospitals, uncurable by antibiotics. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, I was like near 6 or 7 hospitals, you know, just walking. You walk along, you know, you see some hospitals. Who knows? Maybe someone caught something, they came outside. I have no idea. But if I had known that and I was reading the news, I'd be like, maybe I should avoid these hospital areas and be like around somewhere else.
If you're going to get it, you're going to get it.
But if I can prevent it, I would. You know, and if I was informed.
What was it? Was it like a flu or something?
Dude, I have no idea. Like, I just read like the main like page. You know, I'm not going to go buy a newspaper. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys, but like I end up seeing on the news, oh, states around us, Connecticut, just legalized recreational marijuana, and I'm like, oh man, I should go research it. So I like grab my cell phone, I go like, you know, go read. I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, what does this mean?
Got a copy of High Times?
No way. Grab the latest High Times. No, but it was yeah, it was interesting. But really what was interesting was I took public transportation for like the first time in many years. Like, I feel like the last time I took public transportation was a school bus. Is that even public transportation? Yeah, I think that's public transportation.
Sort of. Yeah, it is.
But to be honest, it was a very nice ride. The bus driver.
From where to where?
From New York City to my place of origins. But get this. While I'm trying to get to my place.
So was it like a...
it's a Greyhound.
A coach bus?
Greyhound.
No, that's not private. That's not public transportation.
That's not public transportation?
Transportation is like a city bus, a subway.
Okay. Let me rephrase this. It's not public transportation. It's economic transportation. I'm saving the environment. I'm doing mass like
you're
car rides or group rides, right?
Yeah.
So I have like 5 friends with me, and we end up having like a 2-bus thing, right? You grab the first bus from Queensville to New York City, Port Authority, New York City, then Port Authority, New York City to my place of origin, and then I'm like, okay, cool, let's go take the first bus. So we get to the first Greyhound bus station. I get to the station, and the guy looks at me, and he's like, your bus is not coming, it's delayed. I was like, what the heck? I'm like, what am I supposed to do, dude? Like, if I don't make this bus and it's delayed, I'm going to miss my second bus. It's not like the plane where they're going to, like, wait for you, you know, a little bit. Yeah. That's it. They going. They hit that time, they going. It's like a cruise ship. They just go. So I'm like, all right, so working out. This guy, like, goes crazy, and he's, like, writing down all these instructions, telling me an alternate way to get there so I don't have to wait for the bus. So he's like, you know, take J83 to blah, 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 and then grab the train and go here, then take 83, and then you're at Port Authority. I'm like, dude, I'm not even from here. I'm not going to be able to figure this out. So that was public transportation. But anyway, we ended up taking an Uber. We ended up taking an Uber. Yeah. It was like $90, and we finally got there.
$90? Oh, so you took it all the way home?
Yeah, we took it to the Port Authority bus station from Queens.
It was $90?
Yeah, it was $90. There's Uber XL. There was
I guess that makes
5
sense.
of us.
Okay.
So there's 5 of us, right?
It's not even that bad.
So we have all of our luggage. We finally get to the second bus station. Mm-hmm. We get to the second bus station, and we realize, oh my God, it's noon. We should probably eat something. So they're like, hey, let's find a place to sit. We'll put our bags down, and you 2 guys watch our bags. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that sounds like a great idea. I'm hungry. I want to eat, and if you're going to grab me food for watching your bags, that's awesome. So they lay down the bags in front of us, and I'm basically sitting on one side of the seat, like where our bags start, and then my friend, let's say his name's Greg, and he sits on the opposite side, and there's like 3 empty seats in between us, right? And then the bags are in front of us, just on the floor. So let's say 5 minutes goes by, the guys have left, the other 3 guys have left. It's me and Greg just sitting and waiting for them to come back. All of a sudden, a guy in like army pants and like
so
gray,
camo?
Yeah, like camo army pants. Not like anything latest, like some older attire. You know, he's trying to hide his legs.
Super sketchy because it's like the only people you ever want to see wear that is actual soldiers.
And Greg, of course, you know, the guy, his twin brother is serving in the army, so he has some army apparel. So he had the army duffel bag. So I'm like, maybe he saw the army to army and maybe something like that. I don't know. I couldn't tell. But anyway, this guy is holding a rollerboard, which is like a 4-wheel like roller bag, right? So he gets the roller bag, and all of a sudden he's walking towards us, and I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing? Like, something just felt off. Like, as soon as he was like in close to my personal bubble, I was like, something's off. He grabs his bag.
He didn't have a good concept of like personal.
No, he didn't talk to us. He didn't like do anything before this. So all of a sudden he like grabs his bag and brings it to our luggage pile where our bags are, leaves it, steps like 3 feet away from it, looks at me, and like puts his hand in his pocket. And at this point I'm just like, what's going on? And I don't think anything of it because he's still near the bag. Then he moves to the opposite side, looks at my friend Greg, and does the same thing, puts his hand in his pocket type thing. I'm like, what the heck is going on? What is this guy doing? So now let's say it's been 5 minutes since this weird interaction, right? 10 minutes later, I don't see the guy. The bag is still in our pile. I go to Greg and I'm like, dude, should we do something? Should we like say something? And Greg's like, nah, don't worry about it. Like, you probably went to the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. 15 minutes goes by. At this point, I'm like, 15 minutes, something's off. The guy's not here. The bag's freaking right here. Something's off.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, right? It's like, you see something, you say something, right?
No reasonable explanation at that point. Now
there is no reasonable explanation. The guy did not talk to us. He didn't say anything. It's me and Greg. And if anything, at this point, I'm going, if this is a bomb, like, I'm Indian and Greg is also Indian. So if someone, you know, if something blew up and it's like they tried to frame me, like, me and Greg would be framed.
Just right next to it.
I'm like, this is horrible. I need to tell somebody. That's what's going through my head. I'm like, yo, dude, I don't want to be framed and like misrepresented. And I'm not a terrorist, all right?
Yeah.
I love this country. I really do. So I try to find. I saw something. I'm gonna say something. So I go. I try to find the employee, and I find one employee, and I'm like, hey, dude, there's a guy that left his bag. It's been 15 minutes. He's nowhere in sight, and it was just awkward. Like, he left it in our pile. And the employee looks at me and kind of shrugs me off. He's like, okay, I'll do something. Another 5 minutes goes by. It's now been like 20 minutes. There's no one doing anything. So I tried to find another employee. But while I'm trying to look for the other employee, a cop starts patrolling like near the area. I run towards the cop and I'm like, excuse me, officer, there is a bag over here. And the guy left it in our pile and he just left. The officer looks at me and he's like, you know, now I'm thinking in the officer's view, he sees two Indian guys in the bag, like, oh my God, what is this? We kind of shoved the bag away from us. Like, I didn't even want to touch it, but I didn't want it near us. And we moved all of our bags away. And at this point, the cop just comes over to the bag and he's just standing there. And I couldn't really see what the cop did. But about another 5 minutes later, a K9 unit comes in. So now it's been what, like 25 minutes? So in this 25 minutes, I've alerted one employee, one cop. While looking for another employee, I alerted a cop, and that cop brought in a K9 unit with another cop.
You saw something and said something.
I saw something and said something, but it's not over.
You did your part. Oh, I know.
I know you know, but this is one of those things where you just like, you think the thing's about this, but it's all about this, you know? So the K9 unit comes over and they do some sniff tests around the area, and this police officer tries to get this dog to sniff the bag 3 times. It's like, sniff the bag. The dog goes near the bag, but instead of sniffing the bag, all of a sudden, and this is just freaking crazy, instead of sniffing the bag, the dog goes to the box. There's a box where, you know, when you have like structural pillars in a garage, like, imagine that in a basement, like Port Authority bus station where they have pillars.
Sure.
Next to the pillars, there's like a trash can, and at the trash can next to it is a box, like a cardboard box that's all taped up and wrapped up. We thought that box was just trash, just sitting there, like, non-conspicuously. I can't even say that word. Inconspicuous. Say it.
Inconspicuously.
This is one of those words I can't say. All right. So anyway, yeah, I thought it was hidden very well. That I thought it was just trash. Dude, 3 times. All 3 times the dog, instead of sniffing the bag, goes to this random box that me and Greg had no idea that it was even there.
Existed in the first place.
The bag's been there now 35 minutes. Who knows how long that box has been? At this point, the police officer is like, you could tell the dog has alerted. So one police officer steps aside, sets the dog down, like, sit. The other police officer whips out, or actually I think the same police officer that had the dog whips out a box cutter and opens the box.
Which is insane because you'd think they'd have to call the bomb squad.
Before they opened the box, they had asked our area. So by this time, my friends had returned. I have pizza. I've already eaten a slice. I'm about to eat the second slice. I'm kind of watching what's going on. It's entertainment. I mean, it's not really entertainment, but it's like, wow, I did something here, and maybe I should get out. One of my friends was just like booked it. Like, he was like, I don't care what this is, and he booked it as soon as he found out the cops were here. And I'm like, this is just weird. But anyway, the guy brings out the box cutter. He opens the box, and he opens each panel of the box. They both look inside. They both look up, and they both look at each other. And he says, I quote, "Is this really effing happening right now? Is this really effing happening right now?" And they both got a flashlight shining at the box.
Could you see what was in the box?
I could see what was in the box. This is what happens next. The same police officer that had the box cutter goes inside to take a content out of the box.
What is it?
Dude, it is a newspapered, like, taped up, brown tape, all wrapped up together. He then takes his box cutter and opens the package. At this point, there's a smell like a formaldehyde, like some chemical smell that I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, how is this even possible? Like, at this point, I'm like, I'm ready to leave.
You couldn't see what was wrapped.
I couldn't see what was in there, but at this point, as soon as you took that package out and there was a smell, we knew something was off. So I'm getting ready to leave. All our friends like, let's just leave this area because this is just awkward. So we're about to leave the area. As I'm ready to leave the area, coming down the escalator steps is the army pants guy and the gray shirt guy. So now we know there's a box. Let's come back to the bag. The guy is coming down the escalator steps. He left his bag there, went up the escalator steps, and is coming down. So as we're leaving to get our bus, he's coming down the escalator steps, and he looks right at the cops. Like, he sees them, he does a quick 180 and runs to the bathroom.
What?
As soon as I see this, like, we're going to our gate for our bus, I run to the cop and I'm like, dude, the army pants guy and the gray shirt guy just ran into the bathroom after he saw you guys. The cop books it to the bathroom. And, like, this happened so fast. My bus is here. I'm trying to catch the bus. I saw the army pants guy. You know, I'm trying to do everything. And out of nowhere, this one lady comes over and she's like, oh my God, it smells so bad. Can you guys do something about the box? As I hear this, another lady comes over and she's like, that's my box. I've left. I have no clue what has happened since then. This was, you know, whatever day it was. I'm not trying to stop anything, but I now think back at the situation and I'm like, what the hell did I witness?
Have you tried to look it up?
I have not tried to look it up. They said it takes like a week or so to get on the police blogger, and they need to report everything. So I did say, oh wait, I have pictures. Dude, my friends realized they took pictures after the situation. They're like, dude, we have a picture of the box and we didn't even realize we took it. And I was like, what do you mean? And then here it is. Ready for this? Here's the suitcase.
Bag.
Here's the bag, right? And right next to the bag, look, he didn't even think anything about that box.
What does it say on the box? Oh, it's just literally it's from CubeSmart, which is a storage facility.
Yeah, this is the box. So if I zoom out, look where the bag is and look where the box is. The box is right next to a pillar. Like, you don't think anything about the box.
It turns out that's a designated area for.
And then they have packages. Pictures of the cop. So here's the cop and the dog when they're looking inside the box. Isn't that crazy? And then I'm like, dude, I can't believe we have all of this.
That's just the sketchy box.
And then this is them going inside the actual box. So they're taking the contents out.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so I've taken those buses before.
Yeah. But look, it's right near the trash. See, they're right near the trash. Most craziest place.
Okay, it is weird that the guy saw the cops and turned around.
Yeah.
But people, and I don't think I've done this, but people will get in line for the bus because you want to be first in line so you can pick your seat. But then they'll get hungry or something, and then they'll leave their bag there. I've seen it happen.
But you would tell somebody, wouldn't you?
Yes, you should. But if you're traveling by yourself and you don't want to sketch, because like, imagine if you said that to somebody, like, "Hey, can you watch my bag?" and you're just traveling by yourself, then that person's probably gonna get sketched
while
out.
standing in line. So we're
but
waiting
not
for a
saying
bus.
anything is equally as sketchy.
Exactly, and it was sketchy.
I'm sure that lady probably did the same thing. But God
but
knows.
way longer than the bag. I thought the bag was scary. Who knows how long the box was?
I wonder if she was carrying like a dead pet or something, or like
I don't know,
food,
man.
like weird food. I don't know. But
when the
that's
cops
why
had
buses,
the
if we're gonna talk about buses, sometimes that's just not the way to go, because you're just shoved in this small space with a bunch of people for a while. Someone might be drunk. Someone might smell.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Oh yeah, it does. But to be honest, the Greyhound bus, great Wi-Fi. You know, the speed was medium.
Use promo code. No, just kidding.
No. This is not a sponsorship. Yo, if anything, Greyhound screwed me over. I had to catch my own ride. But in reality, the bus ride was great. I mean, like, the bus driver was nice.
Well, it can be good because sometimes they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I think they all have Wi-Fi now. But one weird thing the bus driver says is, like, do you know how old, like, an average bus is? Is like, it's 30 years old. I'm like, buses that are 30 years old are still on the road? That's crazy.
That's like planes. Planes can get pretty old before they're supposed to be taken out of commission. I forget how old it is. I think it's actually by trips. But yeah, I mean, things that are old and maintained are not that scary, but it just sounds scary.
You know,
I trust the bus more than the bus driver. Those bus drivers are insane. Have you ever taken Fenghua?
I have taken Fenghua when I was young.
Was
Chinatown to Chinatown.
Oh yeah,
Let's
I took
go.
that to Boston from New York once, and that was when they were all catching on fire.
Yeah.
And these bus drivers who don't even look like they have a license are just like weaving through traffic. So buses are quite the way to travel, but it can be okay sometimes.
Dude, eventually there's going to be a state where having a car won't even matter. Only like maybe 1% of people have cars. We're going to have public transportation. If you need something, you know, it's all publicly paid for, less impact on the environment. I want to get to that stage of technological advancement. I'm tired of waiting, man. It's so sad.
So basically Europe and Japan.
So basically, not even Europe and Japan, just have a way that it's like I don't need to rely on my own personal car transport and just, you know, I call something, hit something, I get a car, I go
That's
somewhere.
one of the challenges of just the way America is set up is we have city, like open space, city. So it's like the city can work itself out. But as far as traveling across the country, that's just always going to be...
But if you can travel across the country, like I went interstate, like on a bus, you know, like if we could do that mass scale, that's
those buses
bad.
Have been around since like what, the 50s?
I know, like being Indian, I know in India it's either motorcycle or bus. You know, that's how you're. I mean, some people have the car. I'm sure now everyone has cars.
Not rickshaw.
Auto rickshaw.
The other thing with three wheels. What do they call that?
Auto rickshaw.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's an auto rickshaw. It's got yellow and it's got the dome
and
it looks like a half scooter type thing. Yeah, I love those things.
We should just start adopting those here.
To be honest, when I went to Texas, I saw the manual version of those where they pedal bike type thing, and I'm like, how the hell? This is gonna take them forever.
That's a rickshaw, I think.
That's a regular rickshaw, and then there's auto rickshaw, which is like the yellow black thing, and it looks cool. Yeah, but, dude, Bank of America raising its freaking minimum employment wage for employees to $20 per hour is crazy.
Is it all employees?
I don't know if it's all employees. I just know that's what they're doing.
Well, I guess it would be because minimum implies all employees. Yeah,
raising his minimum to 20, so you'll make basically guaranteed $41,000 a year if you work at Bank of America.
So I wonder if that means they're gonna start laying people off though. Because
you think they're gonna? I mean, there is automation, and when you automate something, you know, the goal is that you won't need as much manual.
Right, but I don't think that's why they did that. I think...
You think they did it for something else?
I don't know. And $20 an hour is a lot in some parts of the country.
Yeah, like, wasn't I just hearing, like, $15 an hour for McDonald's or, like, Burger King employees or something?
Yeah, I think... I don't know. I think it was brought up to try to pass that as law. It never passed, but... I mean, I know people have heard this, but if you raise the minimum wage to like something like $15 an hour, it's fine for the worker, but at the same time, Burger King's just going to start using robots. They already are. That, it's just...
Yeah. Burger King is using robots.
McDonald's
is using robots.
Argument.
Have you gone to
No,
you go to an updated McDonald's, you walk in, there's like 4 touchscreen monitors. When I first went to Europe, I saw this thing and I'm like, America doesn't have this. It's nice to see the face. Now I go to an American McDonald's, they have 4 touchscreen. You can click on order here, it gives you a number, you go sit at a table, and then some guy just brings it over. You don't even have to talk to a cashier to order your stuff.
Hundreds of thousands of jobs right there lost.
There you go. So now at a bank, I don't even have to go to the bank to cash my check. I can do it right through the phone now, man. I don't need some type of special equipment. It's replacing constantly. It's crazy.
But a question to ask would be who is making minimum wage who also works for Bank of America? Like what's their minimum wage job? Mailroom?
Oh yeah, well, like what's their lowest
entry
position?
level for Bank of America?
What's entry level for Bank of America? Intern? What's the lowest paid job you've ever had?
I think it was... like when I would work part-time in college. I think it was like $10 an hour.
Oh my God, dude. When I was in high school, my parents made me work at Stop and Shop for $6.75.
Or no, I've made minimum, so whatever that was, like
$7.25? Yeah, $6.75.
Was that minimum at the time?
That was minimum at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Minimum couldn't even pay for a full gas of tank at the time that I was working.
Gas of tank?
Full tank of gas. Yo, I'm telling you, ESL, bro. ESL.
But, well, it's not necessarily supposed to, but...
I mean, if I wanted to live?
Right. But there are better jobs than that are low experience jobs that pay more than that.
Low experience jobs that pay?
There's driving jobs, landscaping, like those pay more than that.
And you don't even have to go to school for those jobs, You can just be wherever you are and whatever education level you are and just pick it up on the job of sorts and move up.
But I mean,
in automation jobs,
wage,
you don't do that. There's no moving up. Once you're automated, you're gone.
Yep.
You got to find something else. That's why it's always shocking when it's like, oh, we're going to bring back the manufacturing jobs. We bring back the manufacturing jobs just to automate them. And then we automate them. And we're in the same situation again a few years later. Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, it's more for the economy than the worker itself.
So you remember I told you I was waiting for them Galaxy Buds?
Yeah.
I waited. I went home, and it was supposed to be delivered by an Amazon carrier.
Amazon carrier. With this. Okay.
Amazon carrier says that he delivered it to a resident at my house. One problem: no one was at my house. 2, I have video cameras all around my house. No guy came to my house. So I was like, dude. So I called up Amazon. Amazon, amazing customer service. They call you sometimes. You can just be like, I need to contact you. They're like, we're gonna call you in X amount of time. Are you ready? And they just boom, they call you. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Dude, these guys said they came and they delivered it to a person. I've asked all my neighbors. I've asked everybody. There's no package. Blah blah blah. They sent me a free freaking pair. They were like, we'll just replace it for you, sir. Don't worry. And I'm like,
I'm not surprised.
What?
Because it's not worth the risk of taking bad PR, losing a customer. It's totally
I was surprised that it was the Amazon carrier that lost it. It's like, how do you mess up that?
Because it's
weirdly?
Just some guy in a car.
And why would someone take it if his name is not my name?
Well,
are you Teddy? Oh, damn it! No, he's not.
Well, I mean, isn't that a great way to take a package? I mean, that's technically stealing, right? If you signed for someone else's package, it's got to be. Yeah, of course it is.
Is that stealing? I've had packages stolen before. Have you had packages stolen ever?
No.
I've had packages stolen. I caught it on camera. I gave it to the cops, and they said really this happens all the time.
Yeah.
And they took the video. They gave it to the detective. Never heard from them ever again.
They can't do anything. Because they're not gonna investigate. The amount of resources it would take to find a person based off their face, unless they had proof of him doing it multiple times, they're just not going to take action.
Yeah.
So it's on you.
But it was very clear. You know, you could see his face. You could see the car he was driving. But I was like,
why you have to set up
why?
a booby trap like everyone else is doing. People are putting cat litter in packages.
Cat litter?
So then the person steals it and gets home, and it's like, like dirty cat litter.
I can't believe this is happening right now. And it's like, oh, it's so bad. You know what I have seen though? Like people that do the videos in the one, so when a mail package guy steals it, they show the video and it spins and it like throws glitter everywhere.
Yeah, that was a really intense booby trap.
That's the type of booby trap I need, bro.
Yeah, but only if you knew it was going to happen again. Some people live in areas where it just keeps happening, like over and over and over again. Like they keep getting this like packages stolen like multiple times.
And I guarantee you, this is why the rest of the states in America are using gated communities now. That's why there's such a big thing. You go down to Florida, there's a lot of gated communities. Texas, like gated communities.
That's old people.
It's not old people. There's your coworker, Michael lives, or Michael. Let's just call him Gun Raider. Let's just give him some kind of name. But right, he lives in a gated community. He's not old. That's like the new way. Like cities are coming up with gated communities.
Gated how? So gated just from the street?
Yeah, from the street.
But then you're like, so then if all communities are gated, then you're gated from another gated community. So it's like, do you really need to be double gated? So.
Wait, you're looking at condos, right?
Yes.
So, do you feel like that's gated?
No, condos aren't.
I feel like it's secluded.
It's secluded, but I drive into condo complexes.
So if I add a gate to it, would you have a problem?
Of course.
Why?
Oh no, I'm I thought you meant getting in.
No, I mean getting in's not a problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
It's sort of.
It kind of makes me feel better.
It's unsightly. Yeah, it does. But what I'm getting at is if everyone starts living in gated communities, why not just put a gate around the city? And then a gate around the state.
What is this? Under the dome? Like, oh,
yeah,
dang.
well, I'm just progressing your thought process.
Well, I guess my security, that's true. Then we'd eventually get to a point where we'd want bubbles around everything and restrict.
All of a sudden you have a wall around your country. Oh my god.
Oh my god, the wall around the country. That'd be so bad.
But not everyone would want a gate around their community, and they are ugly, and it makes just life a little bit harder.
You know what's harder? Figuring out your property lines to figure out where you can put the gate.
Well, yeah, and that's like fences, and it's like, do you want a gate around your house? I mean, that's how. So I went out to Beverly Hills once.
Yeah.
And the way the houses are, or a lot of them are in Beverly Hills, is that they're all separated from each other, and they're all separated from the road via a gate. So it's like, instead of gated communities, they're all just gated houses. And it's like, it's really weird. There's no neighborhood. It's not a neighborhood. It's just like, everyone is secluded from each other.
Yeah.
You can barely see the front door from the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has those electronic gates that slide shut. So it's like, everyone, like, you know.
Do you like that?
No. And it's like, if when people get a lot of money, a lot of them move out to, they're like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm rich now, I'm going to live to Beverly Hills. Like, but it's like, you're just moving.
To seclude your life.
To seclude yourself.
But you're secluded with the friends and people that you like because they know the path to get in.
Right. So that's why it's like, if you move out to LA, you got to move your entourage out with you, because otherwise you're not going to meet people. So
basically, Dag, once we get popular, you are not going to move to Beverly Hills with me.
Well, I would question why you wanted to move to Beverly Hills.
No,
there are plenty other places to live.
Dude,
besides California.
We'd probably, where would we even go?
Colorado.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, it makes sense. I need the higher altitude, so I drink less to get more.
All right, if that was your thought process, sure.
Nah, I don't drink. You know that.
Right.
We don't do anything. We're the most sober kids in our group of friends.
Yeah, totally. But Colorado's sort of starting to get full, too. I mean, it's not cheap to live there. And then Texas is... I mean, Texas maybe.
I bet they can hear that.
They're coming for us. But I think I'd want to move to Texas.
You'd want to move to Texas? I love Texas. I loved Texas even when I was in Austin, Texas, the most democratic city in Texas, I would say.
In the world.
No. In the world, it's probably like Massachusetts,
That's
like
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Oh my God, I can't even understand. One thing I want to say about New York: the amount of police officers, the amount of resources it takes to run that city, and still understand everything that's going on in that
people
population
live there,
is
like
crazy.
over 1 million, something like that.
Crazy. We did a pub crawl. We had like international people in our pub crawl. Man, I was like, wow, this is crazy.
See, if you want to talk about the opposite of LA, that's what New York does have, is that you end up meeting a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in LA, I don't know if that happens. One of our fans from LA can call in and
one of our LA fans will let us know how it works.
Or email us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like same thing with Boston. I think Boston, you'd probably end up meeting people.
Yeah.
But
they're international, and then you're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah.
Right, we probably got to wrap it up soon.
We do, and I didn't want to, force to wrap it up, but I think it's a good spot.
It's a good spot. It's a good ending spot.
This is where we would put sponsors if we had any, but we don't.
If we were to grab a sponsor, who would sponsor us? Like for
Mercedes
the 6
Benz.
viewers, Mercedes-Benz, let's go.
Yeah,
let's go all the way.
Why didn't we do this at first?
Why did we do this the first time? Oh my God, it got so dark
like
real quick.
This is like podcast mode. Oh my God.
This is podcast mode. We should have just turned it on in the beginning. And it's got little lights in here, dude.
We
should do a car review next.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. All right. So next week we'll do your car and see how the recording is there. Eventually, we're just gonna cycle through all of our coworkers' cars and be like, "Hey."
Eventually, we'll have our own space. But,
yeah. As of now, guys, keep watching.
Once we have ad revenue.
Yeah, ad revenue, whatever it be. Even if we don't have ad revenue, I love documenting the fact that we have these great conversations, and it's just more of documentation for myself.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah. All right, guys. Till next time. Thanks for watching.
See you later.